Come and dream with me.
Hello, welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content and help you answer the question, is the world ready for the return of Air Bud? I'm your host, Ash Robley. Joining me today, Don Blight.
Air Bud making a comeback.
Air Bud is making a comeback, reading from this article for Variety. Air Bud returns. The latest film in the Athletic Canine saga has been announced. The film is set for summer 2026. Let me read you the synopsis in the press release. In Air Bud Returns, 12-year-old Jacob has always dreamt of being a star basketball player. After the passing of his father, that dream felt even more impossible. But everything changes when he and his mum move into his dad's childhood home in Fernfield. There, Jacob discovers an old VHS of the Air Bud movie in his father's belongings, and has a chance meeting of a stray golden retriever he names Buddy. Together they embark on a journey of healing, unite a team of misfits, and chase a championship. Through it all, they learn to play from the heart, believe in each other, and always take the shot.
That's a choice.
Yeah. So it's not really Air Bud returning, though.
No, it's
because we're literally saying this is a different dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another Legacy sequel coming soon.
Is it a Legacy sequel?
I don't know. We might need to come up with a new term for this one.
Rebooted sequel.
Because it's a sequel inspired by the actual movie of the original, so who finds it? What kids are finding VHS tapes? I'm sure
they wouldn't know how to use them.
Pretty sure Air Bud eventually got on DVD. Anyway, on today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our watch history, gaming news, and film news, giving some thumbs to trailers, and give you this week's top 3. Kicking things off, obviously the big release of the week, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Me and Dylan did a immediate spoiler cast of the film as soon as we finished watching it on Wednesday, so you can go check that out if you've seen the film. But Dylan, do you want to give your overall spoiler-free thoughts on Fantastic Four: First Steps?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I think that it's Marvel return to form somewhat. It feels more like a what do they call it? Oh, phases, right? It feels more like a phase 1 movie than a phase 5, 4 even, I guess, movie. Which basically is just to say that it's a movie that you can watch without having kept up with all the Disney Plus shows and many sequels and convolutedness, which is, I'm sure, enlightening to some people who are sick of all of that. So that's good. I think the villains probably mediocre. I didn't like some of the as per usual Marvel movie stuff, like the back half of the movie is the least interesting part. The front half is more intriguing. But I enjoyed overall that the film kept the focus on the family itself from the get-go rather than big superhero shenanigans until it properly needed to, I suppose.
Yeah, I enjoyed the film as well. I think they did a good job of having the Fantastic Four. Maybe not a super comic book accurate depiction of the Fantastic Four. I think it's been interesting in the day since listening to other people's opinions on the film, and like they're obviously I think some people have been like, this has been terribly miscast. None of these people are good for any of these roles, but I think they've updated the characters for common time, modern day, because obviously this is like one of the original comic book families, and they haven't been. I don't think they've ever been the most popular Marvel comic outside of maybe when Jonathan Hickman was running them. So yeah, just this updated version, I guess, is interesting, and like kind of people putting together why things were done certain ways and that kind of things. Yeah, I mean, big bold opening move. I think it's really cool that like they're trying to their solutions, they're trying to solve all these problems with science rather than like we're just going to hit things until they stop moving. That's the like a lot of other Marvel movies. Yeah, really visually interesting. Obviously, it's got this retro vibe to it that makes it feel really, really different. Galactus looks really cool. I think that after he was done dirty in Rise of the Silver Surfer, seeing this version of Galactus was really great. Yeah, I think, really interesting. Have you read much of the feedback from other people since
No.
you've seen the movie? I'm like, no, I'm done with it. Is that
Not
how you-
really. I don't think I've read anything about it. No.
Okay.
To be completely honest, yeah.
Okay. I only need one place to listen to.
Yeah,
All New Marvelcast.
that's right.
Only my opinion matters about the hearing my opinion about the movie matters.
I
to
am
you.
fully believe in my own opinion, like
No, yeah, it's interesting. Like I finally realized. No, someone said, "Oh, the reason why they went with the female Silver Surfer is so they didn't do the same thing as in Rise of the Silver Surfer, where Sue was just taking because of the dynamics. It's like, oh, that makes a ton of sense. Then you just give Johnny a difference. He's done dealing with Silver Surfer and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, really great. Obviously, kind of sets up where they're going next with after credit teasers and that kind of stuff, but itself being kind of very standalone and not tied into anything as far as we're aware. Lots of fun characters. Yeah, it's a great time. So, box office wise, interestingly, which one do you think did better at the box office their first weekend, Superman or Fantastic Four?
Fantastic Four.
Superman, at least domestically, by very, very low. I think it was like $10 million difference, $8 million difference the first weekend. So,
I mean, Superman dove off domestically, so
I mean, that's what every movie does, though. So, we'll wait and see. Apparently, Superman just passed Man of Steel for box office. So, get that into your Snyderverse. So, yeah, I guess we'll wait and see how the rest of the year goes. For those two movies that obviously they're just going to be compared forever, I think, because they're so similar and released so soon next to each other. So yeah, go check it out. Our spoilercast over on All New Marvelcast. Yeah, Dylan, last night we delayed recording this podcast because you went to go see Together, the new film starring real life couple Alison Brie and Dave Franco.
Yeah, went and watched together. So this movie, because it's hard to tell what it's, I guess, about in the trailer, but it's the Dave Franco and Alison Brie's character. They live in the city. When the movie's starting, they're having like a going away party. They're moving to like 2-3 hours away to the bush. I mean, the movie was shot in Melbourne, so it's, I don't know. They're moving to like rural Victoria, I guess, although I don't think they ever really say it. They, from the outset though, you get the understanding that they're like a couple that's on the edge a bit without anyone really wanting to have that conversation. Alison Brie's character's sort of, she's ready to take the next step in their relationship, but Dave Franco's character is a struggling musician who's had some things happen recently where it's implied maybe he was dropped from a label or his like career sort of petering off, and he's not dealing with that, and it's affecting their relationship that way. Yeah, so they're not really on the same wavelength, and they're having some issues in their relationship, but they're also making this huge move together at the same time. So they move out to wherever it is, and when they get there, they on the first few days they go exploring on a bush track, and then they fall into like this pit, and then after they get out of there, they weird shit starts happening to them, I guess is the easiest way to to sum up what happens there. Yeah, I mean the movie at its core, like it takes its themes rather literally. It's a body horror film about with a focus on a relationship that is uh, reliant on like codependency. There's like this they talk about and bring it up several times how like Dave Franco's character doesn't have a driver's license, so she has to drive him everywhere. But then they like have this thing where it's like he cooks everything, she doesn't know how to cook. So there's like all these other conversations about like how they're like completing each other, or you know, like how they wouldn't survive without each other now, even though at times it seems like they hate each other, but they're so reliant on each other after so many years they don't really know what, like they can't, they're not willing to figure out their shit but also can't picture life without each other, sort of thing. Yeah, and it takes those themes into a very literal sense from there with how the film plays out. I thought it was good, especially for a debut. Michael Shanks, the writer director. There is the weird back forth stuff happening in the background with the being sued for the movie's plot by this other dude or whatever. Even though, from all my understanding, it's like he filed this script before that person. Anyway, I don't know. It's all very. I'll let that just play out in court. That's gonna play out, but yeah. But as a debut feature, I think it's a strong debut. I think some elements I would have liked to have seen them go the full length. Like for example, the scene that that you see teased in the trailer with the hacksaw or whatever the hell it is. The girl sitting across from me was, I'm pretty sure, ready to brace for impact. And I mean, it's like it's got a little bit of blood or anything, but I don't think there was a choice made not to go full as gross as you could. Which I do feel when you're making a movie that's like body horror anyway. I'm like felt a little bit like a cop out. Like it sort of, I was a little bit disappointed as the person recording this in the Terrifier 3 t-shirt currently. I was a little bit disappointed with I felt like there was just some restraint in certain elements, which didn't feel fitting with the genre in which he's trying to play. Is how I'd put it. I thought the performances were both fine. Dave Franco does a really good monologue at one point about like this past, how his parents died, and I thought that was really strong. It nearly jumps a shark at some points. Like it's a odd movie at times because it nearly weighs into like horror comedy, and I think it has to be on purpose because it's just like the dialogue and the delivery of said dialogue. Like even that line that's in the trailer with the hacksaw, it's like whiskey for the pain, and like sort of all these like there's just certain choices that I'm like it's just a weird line, like, in the way it's delivered is weird, but it sort of comes across odd. There was some other stuff that happened throughout the movie that had my audience all laughing in unison. I'm not sure if it was meant to be funny though, but it was everyone was laughing, so I really don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. I would suggest I'd definitely suggest checking it out if you're a fan of the genre.
All right. So we've both watched maybe the most talked about so far, or most controversial episode of television.
All right. Yeah.
Released this year.
Yeah.
So to put it in context, this past week, Paramount and Trey Parker and Matt Stone came to the agreement of a $1.5 billion deal for 5 more seasons of South Park, plus all the streaming rights to South Park exclusively. This after several months of like back and forth, and like I think Matt Stone and Trey Parker came out and like were quite upset about some of the dealings and that kind of stuff beforehand. Obviously, last week we talked about the big goings on at Paramount about the merger with the government, with Skydance and the government kind of holding that up, and then they, cancelled Stephen Colbert's night show, late night, after settling with the government for a lawsuit that was kind of frivolous. So then they dropped this episode called Sermon on the Mount. First episode of season 27, which itself bonkers. And it starts rather innocuously with Cartman upset that his favorite radio show has been cancelled.
NPR.
where you can hear all the liberals upset about their various problems.
Yeah, all the lesbians and gays or whatever fighting with each other.
Lesbians and gays and Mexican rappers and you know. And then the principal has become a hardcore Christian, and is forcing Christianity on all the students of the school.
PC principal, who's usually portrayed as like super woke, I guess.
Super woke.
Yeah.
And now Stan's dad is upset that they're forcing religion on him, and they want to find the person responsible, the president. So during the Trump presidency, Mr. Garrison was depicted as a stand-in for the Origin monster. So all the residents of South Park go raid Mr. Garrison's house. He's just a normal dude now, just back to his old ways, watching White Lotus. I think I even saw someone point out that it's a scene of someone carrying somebody, like on the screen from White Lotus.
I think it's the last episode, but
yeah, something like that.
Interrupting the big finale moment.
Yeah. He's not president. So here's the president. Cut to the White House, and it's Donald Trump, done in the same way that they did Saddam Hussein in the 1999 South Park film, musical, with his full face, but like cut down the middle and like,
hey, relax, guy.
Hey, relax, guy.
Rest.
You know, so they depicted him almost exactly the same way as they did Saddam Hussein in that movie, with full on having sex with Satan. But also
Satan even says, I used to date someone exactly like you.
Exactly like you. It's crazy. Also multiple depictions of Trump having a very small penis. And promising to sue anybody. So you think that would be the worst?
Yeah. Relax, guy, I'll sue you.
You sure said? Yeah, so, he threatens to sue South Park for $5 billion. Only for Jesus to come in at the end and tell them they should just settle because he's going to take bribes, and if you don't do,
Jesus
take his bribes,
Paramount will
just cancel.
Do you want to end up like fucking Colbert?
Yeah,
eat the bread. I should know. I actually did watch it twice. I think I only checked it once, but I watched the episode twice. So.
Yeah. And then the episode, they end up settling, but they have to release pro-Trump propaganda, which is a gig at Paramount, who apparently have to do the same thing. So they have, at the end of the episode, they stop for a Trump PSA where he is a deep fake man who looks like Donald Trump is walking through a desert. It was so hot, he just starts taking off his clothes. And then it's a bumbling, fat Trump falling over in the desert. And then his penis pops into screen with two eyes, because that's a censorship thing. And says, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the White House released a statement saying they didn't like the episode. And
shockingly.
South Park has not been relevant for 20 years, despite the fact that they just got a $1.5 billion deal. Wild. I've not watched South Park in ages, but fuck, this was funny. So, just like, I don't think we've seen anyone go as hard as these guys at Donald Trump. And honestly, Trump was not really the target of the joke. I think it was Paramount that they were trying to make fun of. And like, people theorize they put this out, like trying to screw up the merger, which did go through like 2 days later. But yeah, I thought this was freaking fantastic, and kind of made South Park like the show to watch all of a sudden. Like, got hugely viral.
I do think that the target is Trump though, and like, and the second target is Paramount, because it's sort of showing the world we'll live in, or the result of, like, if we live under a dictator, with Trump because they're making all the jokes at Paramount or whatever because he's pushing their way with them. But then you obviously have the 60 Minutes part too, where it's like we're just reporting. Of course, we don't actually agree with what they're saying about our great President Trump. These people are they're terrible people. We definitely, it's like that's a reality we could be living in where news outlets are afraid to do their job properly because they're afraid of what the president will do to them.
You have to get fired or pay bribes or like fucking.
Which is what happens in countries around the world run under like dictatorships and stuff. I mean, a lot of third world, Middle Eastern or whatever, or Russia or China. You know what I mean? Like North Korea, fucking shit like that. So the deepfake thing at the end was very funny. I mean, that's just them using the same technology they fucked around with when they did the show 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was, the web series called Sassy Justice. They did a bunch of Trump deepfakes, and I don't know if you remember. We did talk about it on here. I watched all of it.
I can't remember.
But they did like they did a like Donald Trump deepfakes in that where he was I don't know, like he was like a reporter, and like they did a bunch of stuff, but that was Matt and Trey Parker as well with someone else they collaborated. That was during COVID, like the height of COVID. They did that series, but yeah, no, I think it's very funny. I think just the Cartman stuff.
It's crazy because there's this wholesome, kind of weirdly wholesome storyline running through about Cartman being upset that he's no longer special because everyone acts like Cartman now.
So it's like the right wing. It's like here's what happens when the right wing nut jobs use all win, right? You got what you want. The left has given up. PC principles given up. Everything is now fine. Like you can say all the gay slurs. You can he stops and looks at the toilets where it's now just like men and women only. There's no gender neutral bathrooms or anything like that. And he just looks sad at it. Like there's all these little moments and stuff. And he's just so sad because woke's dead. Like that it's over because the right won. And even like in the interview clips at the end where it's like Butter's parents are like, it's okay to care about the environment a little bit. Like it's not too bad. Like we have an electric car. Like
when they're trying to commit suicide in the car.
Yeah. There's so many little, I think there's just little jokes and nuances throughout the episode that make it very good to me and how I managed to watch it twice. Because
you mean like all the paintings in the White House that Trump walks past, including him, one fucking sheep and 2 fucking glory hole that says Jeff was here?
Yeah. There's like, because the first time you watch it, I feel like I was just so like, you're just like caught with all the Donald Trump stuff and the more shocking stuff. And then the second time I was like picking up some of the other stuff. So, which is crazy considering they make the show in like a week. It's like,
listen, South Park is proof that crunch is good sometimes.
Yeah. Not wrong. Did you see him on that San Diego Comic-Con this week?
They were literally at San Diego Comic-Con the next day.
The next day after
for a panel.
And they're on the stage just being like, yeah, we're prepared just to get fired, basically, and we don't care. Like they're so funny. But then the other thing I was laughing at was them. They were talking about the trailer that released like a couple months back, where apparently fans got shitty. I don't remember seeing this at all, but they dropped a trailer. It just features a bunch of random shit because Paramount or whatever asked them to make a trailer. And they're like, we don't do trailers. Like we don't make episodes ahead of time. That's not like the whole, like South Park is it's all relevant because it's like we make the episodes closer to when they come out. And they're like, no, you got to do a trailer. So they made this crazy trailer featuring a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with anything. Fans got apparently angry at the time because they were like, man, you're ruining South Park if you're banking episodes and doing them early. And then they're on stage just being like, these are all a bunch of fucking idiots. Of course we're not doing that. Like
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Is this going to be a super biting season, or is it like, no, they've had their shot, we're going to do something else? Okay, it depends on what happens this week.
Yeah, I mean, they could. The problem is for Trump, if he bites, they're just going to bite back. So.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I haven't not seen a single reporter ask Trump directly, at any of those press conferences or anything. It'd be so good.
I'm scared to.
Mr. Trump, what did you think of that episode of South Park? Pretty funny, right?
I will be shocked if, like, I'm just expecting him to go harder on, like, Epstein jokes, to be honest.
Maybe.
I feel like that's the...
That's the next place to go.
Mm.
Maybe. Just relax, guy. Take
Just
a rest.
relax. Take a rest. Shut up! I'll fucking sue you.
All right. You checked out a horror movie called The Surrenderer. All right, Surrenderer.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, what are we talking about? Yeah. So this is me catching up on some Shutter stuff still. So this one stars Colby Minfie, or I think that's how you say her name, from uh what the fuck is the boys? God damn it, I'm forgetting everything. Her and Kate Burton, and so it's a very intimate one location sort of horror film, but it's there. So her dad is on his deathbed, more or less, and you get from the first few minutes of the film that she's the one sister who's come back to help look after with her mother still, but the mother's like taking a lot of charge over it and potentially making it worse for him, and you can tell that she's not willing to let go. She's she wants to be the ultra caring wife still, doesn't want help even though they complains that she doesn't get help and all these sorts of things, but then he does pass, and she has organized to have someone come do a ritual to bring him back to life, I guess is the yep. And as the daughter, I guess she, of course, Colby's character is like wanting to be like, this is ridiculous, we can't do this, what are you talking about, trying to bring him back to life, and how much money are you paying this person to come do this and all sorts of things and whatever else. But she's sort of back and forth on it because she also like wants to have her mum potentially just work through her emotions and support them however that happens to be, and like in her mind it's like it's going to fail anyway and all the like all these other things. So it's a lot of just good performances from those two backwards and forwards, like spending a lot of time movie just talking about their past and other elements, and you discover some things about her father that maybe she didn't like to think about, and then also the relationship between him and her mother and all these sorts of things, and then it builds up to this last 30 minutes of the film, which is a bit more intense than the rest of it. But yeah, overall I thought it was okay. It's not super long, but still felt a bit too long, considering that it's just a very singular focused film for the most part. But yeah, it was okay.
All right. Then you watched the documentary Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. Did you learn anything from this?
Did I learn anything? I don't feel like there was something, but I can't remember what it was. Or maybe it wasn't I learned something, but maybe there was just like a cool
Reinforce something.
Yeah, I remember seeing, because they have some footage and stuff in there that obviously they were promoting that hadn't been shared before, and maybe it was just something that wasn't so much as learning something new that I was just like, oh, that's cool. That was a cool like behind the scenes moment or something like that. I think it's an okay documentary. It's a lot. It's kind of surface level for a lot of it. It doesn't full. It's sort of. I would say it's a very good documentary on Jaws if you haven't seen any documentary on Jaws at all before. And I think that's sort of what they set out to watch. Like, I'm going to presume you've never watched anything about the making of Jaws. This would be a very good documentary for you to watch, because it's also a very good understanding of cinema at that time, especially early Spielberg career and other stuff like that. But I mean, this is a they I think the one thing I appreciate about this one is they do spend a bit of time covering the book at the start of the film, the Bendel, something like that. The author, the family, the basis for the book, and how that got brought, the producers who were behind it, the how that was even brought into the executive room, how the first time Spielberg saw the script, like his discussions, the fact they wanted to shoot the film on studio lot, and he said, "Fuck that, I'm only doing it if I can shoot it in the water," and how that ended up being nearly the worst decision ever, because the movie spirals to being whatever it is, like 3-4 times over its budget, 9 months past its due date. Like it's just, it is one of the, like from the outset, it's like a cinematic nightmare of everything going wrong, overspending over time. The the head of the company flying out speaking to Spielberg's having panic attacks without even knowing what they are, and talks about how for years he couldn't watch the movie or think about it because it would send him into a cold sweat just thinking about the months of shooting it and how he had nothing but bad memories about it. So but he's being able to sort of move past that, which is good, so he can talk about it. But then you've got all these other directors that pop up and talk about it. Weirdly, there's people like Cameron Crowe here, and I'm like, I don't really need to see Cameron Crowe talk about Jaws, but you've got Guillermo del Toro and James Cameron and Steven Soderbergh. There's some weird ones too. I'm like, Emily Blunt pops up as a talking head a few times, saying how it's like her favorite movie, and she talks about it. And yeah, I mean, it's a good fluffy, and I don't even mean that in a bad way, but it's a good fluffy version of here's the story of Jaws, how the film's made.
Okay. Then you also watched the documentary The Body Next Door.
Yeah, was this a movie or was this a TV?
3-part miniseries on Stan?
That sounds better. Yeah. Oh, it was 3 parts. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this was really interesting. It was about this, I think it's a Welsh town, I think it was, and they one of those very close knit communities. They do a very good job in the first episode setting that up. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone went to school with everyone. Sort of used to be a mining town. Then the mine shut down, but still sort of kept to be a close knit community. The whole like we leave our doors open, doors unlocked here sort of place until this happened, sort of thing. But one day these people, this woman and someone else is like, oh, so and so from upstairs before she passed away. This old lady who recently passed away. She said that thing wrapped up downstairs in the garden. They have like a communal garden in this like apartment block or whatever. She said that's a what do you call it? Like a whatever the official name of a skeleton, like a one you would do in class or whatever, for medical skeleton, I guess. Yeah, medical skeleton. And they're like, yeah, let's go grab that and we'll use that to prank someone, I think is the setup or something. So they go down, they start opening the bag. Anyway, inside the bag's a dead body that's just been sitting in the garden there for months, apparently, without anyone being able to figure out why. So then begins the mystery of the case, because you've got someone who said that it was a medical skeleton, an old lady who has passed away months before, so they can't talk to her about it. You've got the police, of course, are trying to say, well, you've discovered the body. That's weird. So they're interviewing them. And then they can't figure out who the body is. There's no missing persons for the victim. They can't find any missing persons anywhere close around their town that matches the potential, so they don't even know who the body is. It's a very that they're sort of strung for answers for a while. What it ends up being is a weirdly globe trotting, or at least globe spanning case that actually originates all the way back in New Zealand and comes all the way across to Welsh land, whatever country or place it was, I think somewhere around there. But yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was I mean, obviously the person who murdered and how that all ends up happening, not very nice, but as far as a intriguing just story, that it was.
All right. So I finished watching Stick. Obviously, this is the Apple TV comedy series about Owen Wilson being a former pro golfer who takes an interest in a young, well, I guess it's like 17-year-old who has a fantastic driving swing, who he sees just at the driving range where he's working, and offers to help him become a pro, leading to like this, found family / road trip movie, where his mom and his Stick's former caddy get into a RV and travel across the country to various golf competitions, picking up a non-binary person named Zero, who Santi, the kid, falls in love with, I guess. Redemption story. Also, a tackling of grief story. I think when I talked about it last time, it was like heavily implied that Stick, who's played by Orbison, had a kid who weirdly was missing. Unfortunately, that kid died of cancer at a young age. It kind of caused his life to kind of spiral for a long time because he didn't deal with that loss. And this kind of adventure kind of shows him kind of dealing with it. I don't. My major complaint would be I don't feel like he suddenly is totally fine with it. He's or he suddenly turns a rapid corner, to acceptance. Maybe a little bit too quickly. But other than that, I mean, it's a perfectly fine sitcom, enjoyable. A lot of the characters are really funny, including Mark Maron, who's has really good chemistry with Santi's mum. They clearly have sparks between them and the kind of thing. Yeah, a super satisfying, enjoyable sports fit TV show. It's not Ted Lasso, but it's never trying to be Ted Lasso. It's just trying to be the story is of these fuck up people who make fuck up decisions constantly. Timmy Elfant has a fantastic cameo towards the end of the season, where he plays one of Stick's former rivals, who went on to great success, despite Stick being a better golfer than he was, and trying to hustle him to try to get into this big tournament. Yeah,
Well, they just renewed it for season 2.
they renewed it for a season 2, which will be interesting because they kind of leave it in like this kind of good spot, I guess. But like the finals is like, oh, is Stick going to try and be a pro again? Is that what they're going for, or what are they going to try to do in season 2? But yeah, I really enjoy the season. I think it's a lot of fun. 10 episodes, 30 minutes. It's a good time. Speaking of golf, let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. Because a big Netflix release this week. Happy Gilmore 2, a sequel to Happy Gilmore, the 1996 film, starring Adam Sandler, where he is a guy who really wanted to play hockey, but turns out he's got a slap shot that translates to golf really good. And we're picking up 30 years later. And I guess he went on to become a very professional golfer. I think they said he won like 6 gold jackets. Have a very strong career. Had a lot of kids. I think four boys, 1 girl, with his wife played by Julie Bowen. Unfortunately, I guess slight spoilers.
Yeah,
but it's kind of the setup for the movie.
Yeah.
At a tournament, he actually kills his wife by hitting her with a shot. A tee shot, yeah.
Bound to happen, yeah.
I mean, it was bound to happen to somebody. It was just very unfortunate. It had to be her. So yeah, from that point, his life kind of spirals, and he becomes an alcoholic, and gets rid of all the money. They have to sell grandma's house again, and he's living with his kids in the basic apartment, with John Daly in the garage. And his daughter is like the one bright light in his life because all the boys are just like him and rowdy and shit, and just that kind of stuff. She is really good at ballet, so her teacher suggests that she goes to a ballet school in Paris, which is going to cost a lot of money. So to earn that money, he gets back into golf. I guess is a very broad setup for the film. Dylan, what do you think of this 30-year-old sequel? Or sequel to a movie 30 years old?
As someone who picked Happy Gilmore as the favorite Adam Sandler comedy a week ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, there were moments I enjoyed it, and overall, I sat through it, didn't hate it, but it's pretty bad. I just feel like Adam Sandler, especially anytime he tries to step back into his 90s roles or the way he used to 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 lively give more performances, I guess. He doesn't, either he can't do it anymore because of his age, or he can't be fucked. is, is the thing. Like I don't really feel like you could make the argument that, oh, this is Happy Gilmore, he's older now, so it's like it's way different. I'm like, no, this is just Adam Sandler playing the same character he's played in every movie for like the last 15, 20 years. It's just the same thing and everything. It's just the same dude. I mean, at least you can tell the difference between like Waterboy and Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore and Mr. Deeds. I don't know, like Little Nicky. Like there was all these. It's just the same performance every time. The funniest parts of the movie are just usually coming from other actors. I mean, Christopher McDonald is giving it all to Shooter McGavison again. He's having a time. Ben Stiller's having a time. Benny Safdie's got the worst like facial makeup and hair on, and he's having a time. Good for him. Bad Bunny's in here having a time. I don't know. There's like Haley Joel Osment. He's having a time. You know, like everyone but Adam Sandler is like sort of the most interesting part of this. All of his sons are great. Obviously, one of them played by MJF, so that's quite fun for an AEW fan. There's some fun cameos. Probably there's another famous rapper that appears that was quite funny. I thought that was very good without spoiling
Detroit.
it. Yeah, I had no complaints about that. But that was the dumb humor that worked in the first film, and I'm like, give me more of that. But I don't know, they didn't really want to, I guess. And then the other thing is, and maybe it bothered me more because I rewatched the first one a month ago, but I'm like, oh my God, if every time a character shows up or a reference to something from the past film, I need to see a flashback literally on screen to make sure nostalgia be nostalgia. Look, here's this character. Like different thing. Like if they do it so many times, I'm like, this is sort of ridiculous.
No, it's not even the character.
It could just be a line.
Like at least 3 times it's the character's son.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So yeah, it's a heavily nostalgia driven movie where the lead just doesn't seem interested in playing the character. I don't know. It's an odd movie, very odd movie.
Yeah, I 100% agree. A very, very odd movie. It just feels like them trying to redo Happy Gilmore, but with all the lessons they have learned since, which have mostly been wrong lessons to learn. It's like, this is the team who did Grown Ups, and now we're retackling Happy Gilmore. You know, they're trying to reach this incredibly broad audience as possible, like make it as big and flashy and, yeah, hit all sectors as possible. Which I feel like that's not what they were trying to do with Happy Gilmore. They're trying to be as funny as possible in their middle. And, you know, even if it was offensive or like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is cameo laden. There are so many characters, so many people to keep track of. And then it just kind of devolves into the craziest possible ridiculousness at the end. You know, with the maxi golf, which is the golf alternative that is being created by Benny Safdie's character. You know, which is freaking ridiculous. You know, I mean, Benny Safdie's doing his best, but that is a rough character to try and, you know, he's just got too many hats. You know, he's eccentric, he's a douchebag, and then he has bad breath on top of that, including to the extent where he breathes into a into a sensor and it says fart detected.
Yeah.
Which admittedly is funny, but ridiculous. You know? Yeah, it's weirdly like a Marvel movie when there's massive CGI fuckfest at the end. Which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, my only gratification was after rewatching the first movie recently as well. Ben Stiller's character finally gets comeuppance in this film.
Yeah.
Which he never gets in the original movie.
No, he just gets away with what he done to grandma.
Yeah, the piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't know if I'd recommend people watch this or not. It's just definitely odd and weird, and
I don't think a hot take is that out of all the most recent Adam Sandler comedies under his own like production company and everything, the one where he only co-stars in it, you were not invited to my bar mitzvah with his daughter as the lead, is actually his best more recent comedy. He's not the main
Carrying
dude. So, which is obviously, I'm not saying it's the best Uncut Gems is obviously the best thing he's done in years. It's not a comedy. So maybe the moral of the story is stop trying to do comedy. Maybe you just can't do it anymore. I don't know.
Maybe the expectation is too high.
At the same time, I watched that special he did, I Love You Guys, I Love You Man, or whatever. And that was actually proper, to me at least. That was normal Adam Sandler stand-up expectation. It's just the movies. I don't know what,
definitely going to be interesting, going forward, because what I really enjoyed him in The Hustle, that the sports movie, the basketball movie, but that wasn't really a comedy. So
moral of the story.
Maybe he does need to make that transition. Obviously he's got Jay Kelly, which is a film coming out this year with Noah Baumbach, where he's starring across George Clooney. So we'll see how that goes.
Apparently he's doing another movie with the Safdie brothers that they've been talking about for years. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. Even though the Safdie brothers are currently on their Let's Try Doing Things solo part of their career. Yeah.
All right. Last thing, you've watched at least a few episodes of the new WWE reality series, WWE Unreal. The first time they've ever given a peek behind the curtain.
Is that what they're marketing, or is that like a fact? Because
I don't know if they've ever said it first time, but we're giving you a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I know. It feels like just their generic documentary series.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yes. It feels like every other WWE, the stuff they used to put on their own app or whatever. It just feels like that, but with a little bit of Netflix flair, I guess. I don't know. That's honestly what it feels like. It'll get more views than that stuff because the normal Netflix viewer is probably going to click on this. So I'll tell you what, and this is I mean, I just don't, a lot of it I just don't like because I'm like, it's unnecessarily like showing stuff that, and I'm not trying to say it's real to me, damn it.
Big kayfabe guy.
But there's just some stuff that I'm like, that's also, why is that such a big part of this? There's like, I think it is in the first episode. The show starts and it's covering from like when Netflix takes over, becomes, it's the Netflix era WWE, right? That's what the whole focus is on. And then there's a big focus on that first episode, the debut on Netflix. And they show the CM Punk versus Seth Rollins fight. That's the main event of that premiere episode. And it goes like 20 minutes over the time limit or something because their match goes so long. And you get to see, they keep cutting back, and I can't remember who the match producer was for that particular one. They keep cutting back to him at Gorilla, and he's like, keeps turning to, who's Triple H's main hand? Who's the second? I can't remember his name. Whoever the right hand man dude is, like I guess the GM, is that what they call him in WWE? I don't know what the fucking everyone's jobs
I know
are.
There's a lot of people.
This guy got glasses, blonde hair. I don't know. Anyway,
not Michael Hayes.
Yeah, I think, is it Michael?
Old dude with the hat, with beard.
No, it's not. He's not with beard. No, it's not Michael Hayes. No. How can I bring up pictures of people that work behind scenes? WWE producers. Hold on. Once I find it, you'll be like, how do you fucking forget his name? And I'll be like, yeah, I know.
What, Shawn Michaels?
It's not Shawn Michaels. Bruce Pritchard, fuck's sake. Whoa. God, anyway.
I wouldn't call him blonde.
He wasn't he?
Probably back in the day.
Great. Anyway, so whoever the other dude is, I don't care. But my point is, so whoever the main producer of the match is, he's in the headset and he's trying to, talking to the ref and like saying, cut this guys or whatever. And between every headset call, he's turning to Bruce Pritchard and being like, Bruce, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And he keeps like, and they show so much this back before, like, I'm so sorry. Like, so, and then the match ends. And then like, instead of anyone being like really happy that it was a great match and everything, like, it's just this scene of this, like being going up to Bruce and being like, Bruce, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Like, I didn't mean. And just Bruce is like, yep, it's fine. Yep, it's fine. You can tell he's pissed. He's just like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Whatever. And then like, then Regal comes up and he's like pulling him apart. He's coming over, he's like, it's fine, let it go. And then he's like, is Bruce pissed at me? He's like, he's fine. William Regal just doing his like William Regal thing of like, just separating him and all this sort of stuff. I'm just like, it annoys me also just because it's also the very WWE way of wrestling. I'm like, just let it put on a good fucking match. Like, why are we like so? It just
time.
That the whole thing was really annoying me. I was watching this whole scene play out. I'm like, they're having a good match, guys. Just let it fucking go. Like, what? Who cares? It's the premiere episode on Netflix. Just let it go. Like, what do we have coming up
They're
next?
used to the old ways where you need to get in the time.
Yeah, but they were treating it like it was a fucking PLE or whatever the hell, like it's the premiere episode. Who cares? So all that stuff was annoying me, and just all the cooks in the kitchen sometimes. So if you like seeing that stuff, I mean, if you want to see like also they cover when Chelsea Green wins the the American US Women's Champion title or whatever. I can't remember when they talked that. And she's like bloody her match producer was what's his name? Tornado, whatever. He's like producing, and he's like, "Oh, I'll do a leg drop as the finisher." And she's this whole thing backwards and forwards about a fucking leg drop as a finisher. And she's in an interview saying, "Why the hell would I do a leg drop as a finisher? I've never done that in my life. That's not my finisher. My finisher is this and all this." And he's trying to get her to do this goddamn leg drop as a finisher. Like, what a ridiculous thing to! What a dumbass idea! What? What are we talking about right now?
Okay, so you're just hating on it the entire time, as an AEW fan. Yeah.
I don't think it's nothing to do with being an AEW fan. It's just me. Like, I'm watching. Also, no, there are some, if I want to go, like, some stuff also annoys me. Like, she wins, and Matt Cardona's there. Do you ever see him? No. Because you can't. Because he's not
part How do you know he's there?
Because I know he was there from seeing pictures on Instagram at the time, and I'm pretty sure I see his arm in frame at one point because it's a big fucking bicep. But do they get to see a moment of him and his the two celebrating together? No, because he's not allowed on it because it's a fucking WWE program. He's Zack Ryder.
You get clearance.
Get clearance.
You wouldn't sign off for the footage.
I'll fucking give you.
That'd be paid.
I'll fucking give you clearance.
Oh, King of the Indies.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
And like other moments too that just was another moment where like two people are going for a crowd, like they're doing like some street fight or whatever. And so I can't remember who it was. Like they push someone, and Triple H starts freaking out because he goes, "Don't push the audience, don't push the audience." And someone next to him goes, "They're paid extras." He's like, "Oh, thank God." I'm just like. Push me. I'm like, fucking, if Mox had punched me at our event at AEW, I'd be happy. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to real wrestling fans? Bunch of pussies.
I don't want to get sued, which is fair.
But I mean, overall, taking all of my personal grievances out of it, I do think it's just a perfectly okay show that is very to the point. It's just like a lot of stuff they'd already done in the WWE universe app or whatever. A lot of their behind the scenes program stuff. If you like watching that, you'll like watching this. But I don't think it didn't stand out to me as being different to that.
No, which is fine because those are. I mean, they do good quality stuff. It'd be interesting because obviously they're kind of marketing this as a way for new fans. Much in the way that like the other series, the Drive Survives, the quarterbacks,
they do stop to explain a lot of things and terminology, and even from the outset, obviously the show opens with Cody and explaining like how what it means to be the hold the belt and champ and like what that means in the company and like all these
So it'll be interesting to see if this brings new people in, or like what, is it just wrestling fans that are going to watch this?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a funny moment where Jay Uso attempts to get into wherever they were doing the show, and the camera's writing passenger, and the security guard doesn't. He's like, "You're not on the list," and he's like, "Well, like I'm talent in this," and he's like, yeah, and they won't let him in. He's like, "Oh, so and so's on the list and stuff." He's like, "Well, they're fucking behind me, so like I'm just," and he just drives in. So that was pretty funny, but like. Imagine being the security guard who didn't
doesn't
recognize
recognize,
like
yeah.
one of the main like rostered talent. Like that's quite funny.
There's a lot of lookalikes out there, so
You
be
got
careful.
there's a
You need to have your passes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, that's everything I watched this week. Let's move on to a little bit of film news, and we'll be covering it with this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
San Diego Comic-Con took place this past weekend. I don't know if you knew or not. So this week's top 3 is top 3 things we're excited for from San Diego Comic-Con 2025. Dylan, what's number 3?
When I save my list, that's the hard thing. Oh, number 3. Number 3, I'm going to go with Predator Badlands. The new trailer was very good. We can talk about that more soon. But I think it's playing a lot more heavy into the sci-fi aspect of the Predator world, and also, I mean, the Alien Predator world, because more than ever, it's now just you see the 100% confirmation that Elle Fanning's playing a Weyland Yutani android in this. So it's now that whole AVP world is back on the table. Those films aren't canon, but we're continuing that long history of Alien Predator.
They all exist in the same universe.
They all exist in the same universe, which they did those 2 films and whatever. No one really. No, I don't think those films have big fan bases, to be honest. But they did a lot of Alien and Predator comic books. I think Dark Horse Comics or whatever that people are big fans of. So they'll hopefully continue. But yeah, this looks just really good. Looks very unique. Looks to just build upon the wild and wackiness of the universe, and very keen for it. I will note I don't like the other thing they did. Which is that they released an extended ending to Predator Killers of Killers or Killer of Killers, yeah, which they showed, and I was like, how do I watch it? And they're like, you can just, it's now if you go play it on Disney Plus, it's there, and I did, so I just you go on Disney Plus, skip to the end of the movie. They've added on a few extra seconds, but yeah, you've got I can't remember the character's name, but whatever, Arnie's character and
Predator
2, that, yeah, whatever. That, yeah. The characters from Predator and Predator 1 and Predator 2, the leads of both, are in cryo sleep at the end of that now.
Okay.
So, because at the end of that movie, you see that they're like...
Yeah, because you said it's about people who've killed predators, right?
Yeah, and they're collecting them, and that's the whole thing of that movie. And at the end of it, the original ending revealed that the main girl from, what it was called, Prey, is frozen. That was the original after credit scene, and now the camera starts on her, pans across, and you see these other 2, which I don't really like. And I know a lot of people I've seen online, and I'm sort of with them, which is just this whole thing of like, okay, so every time someone beats a predator and like the movie ends, and you're like, man, they survive, they get to live their life. Like it's now like,
yeah, they've all been captured.
They're just like captured, sort of. I don't know, sad.
For what purpose?
Yeah,
I guess that'll be the question.
But yeah, apparently Dan Trachtenberg on the panel said when the Predator panel or whatever said that Arnie gave him full permission to use his character going ahead if he wants. So yeah. But as the camera comes across to him, it's like the music kicks in as well, like do 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 like the Predator song. So.
My number 3, we got a first look at Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which is the new Star Trek show that is focused on the classic Starfleet Academy set in San Francisco. They had their first like teaser trailer come out, kind of with Catherine Hunter, I believe, is the head of the school, or like the captain. And it's like apparently the first crop of students through the Starfleet in like 100 years. It's set after the events of Star Trek Discovery. but yeah, it seems like another good starting off point to get into Star Trek. Obviously, my most recent Star Trek thing was the Lower Deckers, the animated show, which was really great. So maybe I'll get into this. Big thing, recurring villain, or like at least through this first season, played by Paul Giamatti, who famously, what I think during the holdovers press tour was like, I really want to play. My dream role is to play Klingon in Star Trek, and it looks like they're making his dream come true. So, yeah, looks really solid. It seems like a solid time, and like I recognize a few characters from from the Discovery show and that kind of stuff in it as well. So I'm sure we'll get cameos and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't think I finished watching Discovery, so I might jump back and watch that at some point. So, but yeah, that's my number 3. Dylan, what's your number 2?
Number 2 is It Welcome to Derry, which they turned me around on after not really liking the initial trailer for it and just going, oh, sort of, what's the point of this? I don't really get what we're doing here. It just seems more like it's more but to what regard? And then the latest trailer showed me that they're tackling in the films and the original, in the book and what, there's a lot of racism within that town, and in the 80s, even when you're seeing a lot of, even homophobia and whatever else, you see a lot of hate inbred into that town. So in the newest trailer, you see that as well, the seethingness of that, which I really like. So between that and some other things that just looked really creepy and scary, and at least I'm now like, oh, okay, we're doing something. We're still exploring the themes that are at the, for everyone that just goes, it's about a clown creeping out kids and eating them or whatever the hell. Like, no, there's always this background about the Stephen King has this a really intriguing story and background to the hate it breeds amongst people and whatever else. So seeing that in the latest trailers sort of turned me around. I'm like, yes, that's the direction we should be going.
My number 2 is we got our first look at the upcoming Mighty Nine animated series. Obviously, the latest animated series from the team at Critical Role, following their second campaign. Kind of getting an introduction to all the characters that we'll probably get to know over the course of the Mighty Nine. Each of their characters from the campaign popping up for like a police interview after one of the earliest events in the campaign. So getting a first look at that. I believe that season is coming later this year. Slated for the 19th of November. So that's really great. Looks really good. Like, obviously, Jester is a character that's kind of broken out beyond Critical Role. So getting to see her and that kind of stuff. And then we also got to look at the next season of Vox Machina, a clip from the upcoming season, which really interesting. Like, they talk about breaking into a facility, like mentioning things that are part of only ever brought up in campaign 2, and that kind of stuff. So that was really interesting. So yeah, more Critical Role stuff. Big week for them, guys. They also announced a video game they're in development as well from the Ad Hoc Studios, the team behind the upcoming Dispatch. So lots to look forward to from the team at Critical Role. Dylan, what's number 1?
My number 1's Spinal Tap 2, because it looks wild and very funny, and there's something wholesome about the group of all of them getting back together, all writing this together. Rob Reiner's directing it, and just they look so fucking old, but you know what? I'm so down for it. That's my feelings on that.
Mine is Avatar, the upcoming season.
The third movie?
What? No, Avatar, The Last Airbender universe. Sorry. The next series, Avatar 7 Havens, which is set after the events of Legend of Korra. Well, I guess, if you know anything about Avatar, the next Avatar doesn't come along until the past Avatar dies. So after Korra's death, I guess, we're now in this new world, or like new era with this new Avatar, but apparently things have shifted a lot. In the description, it says it follows 2 earthbending twins. When one discovers she's the Avatar, the latest person who can wield all 4 elements. The new series is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. the young Earth Airbender discovers she's the new avatar after Korra, but in this dangerous era, the title has now marks her as humanity's destroyer, not as its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse. So that all
Confused.
sounds very interesting.
I thought that Korra and like the main Avatar characters were at the same time, or so she's after the main Avatar. the
Yeah, so
original
Avatar,
with
Aang,
Aang.
the Legend of Aang,
Yeah.
and then he dies, and then he's reborn as Korra,
Oh.
effectively. Yeah, it's Buddhism. Reincarnation is a thing.
Okay.
So they can't exist at
Now
the
they're
same time.
reincarnated as twins.
Well, one of the twins.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that sounds really great. I think they've already confirmed 2 seasons. 20 episodes a season, maybe it was 10. Yeah, more of that, because obviously there's a franchise that is well beloved and that kind of stuff. Obviously, they had a big 20th anniversary panel with a lot of the original co-stars, and then they reaffirmed the Legend of Aang Last Avatar film coming next year, confirming a lot of the cast, including Steven Yeun's going to be playing Prince Zuko, or Fire Lord Zuko, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, super excited about that. So anything else that took note for you from Comic-Con?
I'm gonna be honest, not really.
No. I mean, mostly it felt like it was mostly like a promotional thing for upcoming films that, like they had the Project Hail Mary panel, they had like panels for Tron Ares and that kind of stuff. Not a lot of big announcements for people who weren't present in the stage. They did get it. We finally got a release date for Acme versus Coyote, or Coyote versus Acme, which I believe is like August next year. So still a while, still a long wait. Anything can happen between now and then. But yeah, I mean, for movie and TV fans, not much to take away if you weren't present, I don't think, this year. So, but yeah, that's kind of all the big news for this week. But there were some big trailers this week, so let's talk about them in Thumbs for Trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, we've got Peacemaker Season 2. Created by James Gunn, starring John Cena, Danielle Brooks, Freddie Stromer, Jennifer Holland, Steve McGee, Rob Patrick, Frank Grillo, Saul Rodriguez, David Denman, Tim Meadows, and Michael Rooker. Peacemaker discovers an alternate world where life is everything he wishes it could be, but his discovery also forces him to face his traumatic past and take the future into his own hands. Dylan, I know that you've recently watched the first season of Peacemaker, and we'll be talking about it at some point in the near future for all new DC cast. What do you think of this trailer for Peacemaker Season 2?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the benefit of the small gap between the time of these characters. So, yeah, the freshness of it. Yeah, I mean, like that scene at the start of the trailer where they're all getting back together after however long and meeting up. That's kind of nice because they build a bond by the end of that. Him throwing the fucking beer a million times at the wall in this is quite funny. I also just sort of appreciate that it's season 2 of this show and the next DC property or whatever straight up Superman. They're like, yep, no, let's alternate universe. We're going there. Like it's just. Yep. Let's just jump straight into exploring
3
that.
things in. Let's do multiverse. Let's get there as quick as possible.
Yep.
Everybody loves a multiverse.
Yeah. It's sort of brave because people are so sick of it within Marvel that I feel like you have to get it right and not make it so convoluted and whatever else that people get really annoyed about it. But yeah, I mean, in the outset, I appreciate that it is still character driven. It's Peacemaker falling in love with the alternate world where he is actually a hero because that's what he wants to be so much, and he's got the girl he wants and all that. Like it's still driven by story at the end of the day. But yeah, 2 thumbs up for me for the trailer.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me as well. It looks really fantastic. Getting to see everybody back and some callback jokes or cameos or appearances from last season. It seems like a strong setup for premise, and obviously we get some Frank Grillo there who definitely wants to kill him. Looks like it'll be a fun time and good gags and all that kind of stuff. So very excited. Peacemaker is coming to HBO Max on the 21st of August. And we will be talking about each episode over on All New DC Cast. So subscribe over there. Our next trailer is for the before-mentioned Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. Directed by Rob Reiner. Starring Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Harry Shearer, and Rob Reiner. Set around 40 years after the first film director Martin DeBurgi creates another video documentary of the reunion and final show of the legendary rock band Spinal Tap, consisting of Nigel Tufnell, David St. Hubbins, and Derek Smalls. Dylan, I'm suspecting you enjoyed this trailer.
Yep, double thumbs up. This is great. It's just very funny to see, especially there's something about because it's not like it's a forgotten fact to me that Michael McKean started in comedy and one of his early things, but to me, he's most recently always known from his work in Better Call Saul, where he played a very serious role and quite traumatic character. So seeing him back to this is just something quite funny about it. But I love a good mockumentary. They're very funny when done right, and this is Spinal Tap is sort of in a lot of people the best version of a mockumentary done right. So hopefully it's as good. I mean, as I said, it doesn't feel like it feels like a passion project with everyone on board. Like it's not directed by someone else. It's not written by a bunch of 20-year-olds who have watched the film and liked it and without thinking, like it's all of them still hands on deck, still doing it. So I'm hoping it's good. Fate bullshit. Give you an hate old people.
Dylan, would it surprise you?
You haven't seen the Spinal Tap? No, it doesn't.
No, I have not seen This is Spinal Tap. I'll give it 1 down. As someone who has not watched it, this was not enticing me a lot to get into it.
Turn you up to
there's some solid jokes in there.
I'll turn you down to 1.
Turn me down to 1. Why couldn't you just make 10 louder?
By the way, as FY, you know how people say turn it up to 11, take this thing to 11? That saying is originated from the original movie.
What?
Yeah,
that is such a surprising fact. I feel like that's a very well known.
I didn't know if that was. Well, you said you hadn't seen the fucking movie. I'm just trying to hit you with.
Yet I know facts about things I haven't seen before. I mean, solid jokes. The concert venue opening up because One Night with Stormy Daniels was cancelled. And then them requesting multiple of them to die at the show to steal their legacy. I mean, that's pretty funny.
It's good, yeah.
And they're not having a drummer. I assume that's the thing from the original.
The 11th drummer they die, so
yeah. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues, is coming to cinemas on the 25th of September. Next trailer is for The History of Sound, directed by Olivia Hermanos, starring Paul Mescal, Josh O'Connor, and Chris Cooper. Follows 2 young men, Lionel and David, in the shadows of World War I, who are determined to record the lives, voices, and music of their American countrymen. As they begin to log the events, the two fall in love. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for The History of Sound?
Yeah, double thumbs up. Josh O'Connor, Paul Mescal both look very sad, and I'm ready to be sad with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, 2 thumbs up as well. I think nailed it perfectly. 2 sad boys falling in love and then being sad boys again. It seems like. I think the music sounded really good as well. Like from that little snippet, Paul Mescal has a surprisingly good voice, which is probably a good sign considering he's going to be playing
Beatle.
Is he playing Paul McCartney?
I don't remember which one.
I can't remember which one. He's playing a Beatle. Yeah, I mean, it looks really fantastic. Sounds fantastic. Looks really great. So obviously it was a big hit at Cannes. So yeah, History of Sound. Come to the United States on the 12th of September. Coming to Australia, 15th of January, 2026.
He's playing Paul McCartney. Now, just to recap for everyone since we're here, Joseph Quinn, George, Paul is Paul, Barry is Ringo, and Harris Dickinson is John Lennon.
I'm sure we'll all remember when it finally comes out.
We got to start remembering, you know?
Well, I mean, Paul is Paul makes sense.
Paul's Paul does make sense. That should be the easiest to remember, yeah. Joseph is George.
Listen, Barry Keoghan definitely looks like a Ringo.
Yeah.
So then it's just process of elimination from there. All right, next trailer. Good Fortune, directed by Aziz Ansari, starring Keanu Reeves, Aziz Ansari, Seth Rogen, Sandra Oh, and Keke Palmer. A well-meaning but rather inept angel named Gabriel meddles in the lives of a struggling gig worker and a wealthy venture capitalist. Tell them what you think of the trailer for Good Fortune.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. Double thumbs up for this one. I remember thinking not much of the teaser trailer that we talked about before. But this one, I think maybe seeing a bit more of the dynamic and between all three of the characters, seeing Seth Rogen more in this, and how his character is going to work in it and be a part of it. The movie seems to also obviously be having a little bit more to say outside of its surface level jokes about the class structure and how money can potentially just make some people happy, and that's just the way the world works. Like crazy. Like
turns out I was happier with money.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach him that money can't solve all his problems. How'd that go? Turns out money did solve most of his problems. Something like also Keanu is delivering some of the parts like at the end where he's like, was he smoking a cigarette? I can't remember. It's like,
yeah,
can't be doing it. It's like, leave me alone. I'm enjoying my vices. Like this is all I have now. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It doesn't matter how big your wings are. You can fly. No, it does. Definitely you
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. I think this one definitely fleshed out the concept and made it more than just I don't know, what's the example, like Trading Places or something like rip off of something like that. You got the angel elements, and then you got these modern day characters. It looks like it'll be a good time. We haven't had a big movie comedy in a while, so hopefully this one hits. So, Good Fortune is coming to cinemas on the 16th of October. Next trailer, Predator Badlands, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, starring Elle Fanning, Demetrius Schuster, Kolo Montagi. In the future of a remote planet, a young predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally in Thea and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Dylan, I don't think I'll be surprised that you're going to give this 2 thumbs up, but
2 thumbs up.
Share your thoughts on.
Yeah, I mean, as I sort of just said, it looks great. Trailer's very good. I enjoy the. I guess the other thing I didn't really touch on talking about it before is I enjoy the Elle Fanning's androidness. Her being ripped in half and like offering help still, and then like I'd love to know. I can't wait to find out her programming. Like what is exactly the story of her this android? Like what's her programming leading her to just like offering help to this predator, and how'd she end up on this planet? What's the story of all the other humans or whatever's going on? There's a lot of stuff in this trailer that it just leads to more questions, I guess, because from the outset, young predator sent to dangerous planet to sort of as a rite of passage. You're like, that makes sense. I can picture all that. But then when you start chucking in some of the other elements, that's where a lot of my questions start coming in. But yeah, it looks very, very good.
All right. Yeah. 2 thumbs up for me. I think, what a great twist on the franchise, obviously focusing on a predator and making that the main protagonist, I guess. With Elle Fanning's android character kind of being this proxy, I guess, for us to understand this creature. And yeah, everything in this looked really fantastic and crazy. And like the first time you see Elle Fanning for the first time when she's being booted up at whatever at the start, but then the next time you see her and she's taking out these creatures that the predator seem to be struggling with, just such a great, delightful moment. And then her being like cut in half and like
Soon after, ripped in half, apparently. So yeah.
soon after being ripped in half, and this weird tag along kind of buddy.
Also,
team.
just like where he's like offers help and he doesn't want to take it, and she's like, "All right, I'll just lay here then." Like,
Yeah, I'll just drag myself somewhere.
yeah, I'll just drag myself somewhere.
You know, so it's definitely elevated itself on my list of movies that I feel I need to see this year. So, yeah,
It's gonna be wild if at the end of this movie everyone's like, "Man, I really feel for this predator." like,
yes, it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna weirdly color all the other movies if you're like, all these predators are just misunderstood. They just want to prove themselves. It's like this is just going on these hunting trips. It's like, you know, it's like we're the deer.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are. Yeah.
So, Predator Badlands is coming to cinemas on the 6th of November.
How many Predator movies have you watched?
1.
Which one?
So, Prey.
Oh, just Prey.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So maybe that's something we need to rectify.
Well, I mean, I want to do it. Yeah. So yes, just do that. Yeah.
You know, if I was going to talk about it off air.
Yeah.
Naturally comes up. All right. Normally we only do 5 trailers for this segment, but sometimes something drops at the last minute.
Sometimes there's movies that are so big.
Yeah. Last trailer for this week: Avatar: Fire and Ash, directed by James Cameron, starring Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, Giovanni Ribisi, Kate Winslet, David Thewlis, and Una Chaplin. The conflict on Pandora escalates as Jake and Natiri's family encounters a new aggressive Na'vi tribe. I was fortunate enough to see this in cinemas because it was playing in front of my screening of Fantastic Four: First Steps. But Dylan, you just watched this before we started recording. What did you think of this little first look at the next chapter of the Avatar franchise?
Yeah, look, I'll sum it up briefly. Fucked if I know what's going on. Looks pretty though. Double thumbs up.
Yes. I think that was my exact reaction in the cinema. I'm like, and it's interesting because obviously I've not watched Avatar
The Way of Water.
since cinemas.
Neither, actually. No.
So I'm like, I can't remember how many of these Na'vi characters were people from that. How many are new and introduced? You know, outside of the Stephen Lang one and the little girl one, I'm like, those are the only 2 I remember from the last movie. And then Spider is the only other character I can recognize. But yeah, it looks beautiful. Looks like it kind of feels, the way it's kind of being shot is like this is the final part of this maybe trilogy of films. Like, I know he's got more, he's in development, but like this could be a conclusion to at least this era of the Avatar story, with what Sully being, you know, taken away by humans, and you've got this weird antagonistic faction, just kind of ending on the your goddess can't touch you here. I think really, really good way to stop it in the trailer. You know, we don't get introduced to any new creatures in this one, but like we get to see a bunch of old ones. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we really understood what we were watching when we watched the trailers for Way of Water either. So, this kind of fits the same theme of like we'll go in and the story will unfold in front of us. So
It's a testament to James Cameron being a good storyteller at the end of the day. It's like I remember you start watching Way of the Water and he does like the way that the film starts and the progress is that by the end I don't feel like I was ever confused.
No, but the film is such a spectacle at this point. You don't need to sell the story in the trailer.
No, everyone's just
give away the story.
Everyone's just watching it because it's Avatar. Like, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Avatar: Fire and Ash is coming to cinemas 18th of December. Dylan, this week, what do you want to
watch? This week, I would like to watch. Well, I've already watched the main movie that's released. I mean, my TV show is going to be Twisted Metal 2, or season 2, even. I guess that's out this week. Is there anything else in cinema that I care about this week?
No.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. No, I think that's it. I think I'll pick together and
Say it together. Yeah, not much. It's a little bit of slim pickings this week on the cinema front. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Bride Hard, because that just seems ridiculous enough to be an enjoyable time while I'm eating my popcorn. But yeah, on the TV front, definitely Twisted Metal, but also Eyes of Wakanda. Turns out, pushed forward 3 weeks. The anthology series, set in the MCU's Wakanda. Don't know why, but apparently it's been moved forward. Also this week, first episode of the Jason Momoa Chief of War series on Apple TV starts, so that might be something we'll be talking about next week. So let us know what you want to watch this week by letting us know on Blue Sky at ExplosionNetwork.com, or find us on other social media at Explosion Pod. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you enjoyed this episode, thought it's worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosionnetwork.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.